Jai Shri Krishna friends, welcome to my YouTube channel to stay in bliss by awakening the Kundalini Shakti, the energy and healing of the chakras. Friends, this uploads, we are doing it for the benefit of public and easily to come out of their depression, their bondages, which they do not know where they are caught. If you know your checkpoints, the power points I should say, it will be very easy for one person to open up the bondages and awaken the Kundalini Shakti. Friends, I told you Kundalini Shakti is a liquid, a type of a liquid which moves up the spinal cord from the root of the spinal, which is your Muladhara chakra or your root chakra. It moves up, and as it moves up, it keeps on putting you in bliss. It is like that a person carrying a lots of load on the head, and suddenly that load start dropping off from his head and he becomes free. So before we start, let's do a small prayer. Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Sri Krishna Vande Jagat Guru Sri Krishna Sharanam Gopal Sharanam Sri Krishna Sharanam Gopal Sharanam Mere Baake Bihari Nandlal Sharanam Mere Baake Bihari Nandlal Sharanam. बोल भगवान श्री कृष्ण की जय, श्री नंद के लाला की जय, श्री देव की नंदन श्री कृष्ण की जय, श्री द्वारकाधीश भगवान श्री कृष्ण की जय, बोल देवाधिदेव पूर्ण ब्रह्म भगवान श्री कृष्ण की सदा ही जय. We invoke all the teachers, healers and masters of the universe to shower their blessings on us so that we remain in bliss and out of darkness. Friends, welcome to my YouTube channel for awakening of Kundalini and healing of chakras. Friends, in the last upload, I have given you a small exercise to find out who am I. The problem is, if we do not know who am I, we are involved in worldly affairs so much. We forget that we are in a perishable body. The body is always changing. And we are holding on to our grudges, holding on to our past, future, thinking, grudges, holding on to work, sex, opposite feelings, and we do not know by doing this what happens. Then we hold on to our family and think that my family is one of the best family, the most respected family, the most wealthiest family, the most wise family, and most beautiful also. And nobody on the earth can compare myself. So what we do is we create a illusion around us, a psychological prison we built around us, and we get caged into it, and we are not able to move out of it. Then we says, oh, what sins I have done, what wrong I have done. God has given me this punishment. Now this punishment is our own created. You see, when we were born, we got the body with every part working perfect. Every chakra opened perfect. And Kundalini was on your crown chakra. It's like you receive a new car, and all the cars, things are working perfect. But slowly, when we don't take care of that car, we don't service that car, or we do not know how to go and get the best performance of the car. Slowly, things starts getting blocked. Sometimes some current is not coming, sometimes some light is going off, sometimes fuel is not moving, sometimes battery is not good, and that beautiful car, because we did not take care of it, we have spoiled it. And now we say, oh my God, this is the worst car I got, and I have to be always in the garage with this. So the same happens with our body. If you do not open up your chakras, if you do not awaken your Kundalini, same thing will happen. You will be with the doctors, with the surgeons only. Because something or the other will always go bad. And because of the blockade, you will be always in some trouble, mentally, physically, emotionally. You will be always be caught in some trouble. See, what happened is, what we got to learn. Who am I? If you do not know, if you check your own body, yourself, when you were born, you were a small baby. Your mother used to carry you in the lap, and you were not able to even take a side. You could not change the side either to left or the right. And from there you got a childhood. You started running, going to the school. Your body changed, your thinking changed, your mind changed. Your settings started changing. And then you went to the college. When you came in teens, you were in college. And in college, your body changed, your thinking changed, and your style changed. And when you enter into the youthhood, again, the body changed, the style changed, and then you got married and became a family. Your body again changed, and your thinking changed. Everything kept on changing. Who was one in that body which was not changing? Realize that. It was you only, because if your baby childhood picture is shown even to your friend or to the nearest one, they may not be able to recognize that it is you. But you will recognize immediately if you remember that it is me. So how come? There is some awareness is there which knows that from the childhood till this change of my youthhood, till I got married, my mind got changed, my requirements started changing, everything changed. Who knows all this? Who is keeping this record? Who knows I am the same. Because you don't say, if I show you your childhood picture, you will not say, this is not me, this is me. So what is the remembrance in that? Why you remember your entire life? And if you're say about 70 years old, let's talk it like this, and I ask you to reverse your life, how in flick of seconds you will, like a movie, reversing movie, you will remember everything, what you used to do in the childhood, how you used to play, what were your friends if sometimes, and what were the friends in your school age, what were the friends and activities you used to do in the college age, and when you became little youth, then what were your activities, how you manage yourself to make money, how the things changed, the games when you used to play in the childhood, why those games have disappeared, the thoughts have changed, your desires have changed. And what happened in that? Now we were in a prison, and after that, what happens? Our activities change. When we grow up, we thought of that our peace of mind, our happiness, our success became the target. Our greed caught us that we should remain number one. And due to that, our frustration was so much, we started looking for happiness. Where? In the worldly affairs, in the drugs, in the sleeping pills, liquor, dance, bars, movies, and visiting temples also. Number of people, they go for prayers. Everybody goes for prayer. Even I also go for prayers. But what we ask there, mostly for the benefit, for the position and goodwill of our family and myself. Either we are stuck with the some job problem or any problems, we say, oh God, please help me to come out of this. We are having a case, a court case, God, please help us. So, but how many of persons goes for this to find out who is God and who is the real God? Okay, fine, there are so many gods, but we even do not know who is the real God. When we do not know the real God, the God we worship, we will get only those limited things which that particular personality can give. Say, I'd say like this, that you want something to be done. Now you go to the Home Minister and you ask him to give me a big finance loan. He can't do it. He can only give you protection, security and all that, but he cannot give you loan. But if you go to the finance minister and ask for loan, he will be able to give you. But if you ask the finance minister to help you for the protection, he may not be able to help you. So same happens here. When we have blocked our things, we do not know how to open our chakras, we do not know how to raise our kundalini, we will never come out of this sorrow. The first thing is, we have forgotten this thing, that we are in perishable body and all the desires, all the requirement which we are creating is limited, and after some time they are going to vanish. But we want a permanent happiness. If a permanent happiness we do not know from where to get, how to be peaceful, what will happen? We will be under stress. We will hunt for permanent happiness. we will hunt for peace, and we will not get it. It will be like, you can say, a dog with an itch. He can never find comfortable place where his itch can settle down until unless that itch is removed from this. So the same happens with us. We get an itch of desires, and we create our own illusions, and we try to fulfill that, which is not possible. Which is not possible. And what happens? We are just like that. The wife asked, "Your socks are very dirty and they're smelling." And the husband, when they went to the party, she said, "Why didn't you change your socks?" He said, "Well, I know you won't believe me, so I brought one in my pocket." So we are holding on to our things. We hold on our desires. We hold on our illusions. We never think that we will be out of it. We are tying knots after knots, and we do not know how to untie it. And this is the position when person is not able to come out of sorrow and happiness, and it creates such a bad thing that your mind never accepts it, and your mind is never happy. And this is how the bondages take place. Now the three bondages which we have discovered. The first is your future and past. We are involved so much, we are not able to come out of it. So we have to do the exercise of forgiveness and asking for forgiving. That we forgive those guys who has hurt us, and we'll ask for the forgiveness for those guys who have got hurt from us. See, there is nobody in the world that who says, "In my life I have no one who is annoyed, happy with me, and there is nobody who is annoyed with me." In our lifetime, even with the gods, people were not happy. If you read the theory, if you go to God Krishna's lifestyle, you will find number of people were not happy with God Krishna. And the same number of people were not happy with Jesus also. If they were happy, then why he was crucified? That shows the world is not happy anyway. So what we do is we give the keys of happiness to others. If the others praise us, we feel happy. If other describe or give us some negative remarks, we are unhappy. So we have to know how to keep our mind at the temperature of 98. But we don't understand the method of keeping the temperature at 98. What we do is we increase the temperature, we go in the terrible position, and then we start crying for it. Friends, I'll tell you a story of 10 persons. When they left their ashram, their guru said, "When you cross the river, please count yourself. How many people are you?" so that none is drawn and you are 10 and you are safe 10. So after crossing the river, they started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, where is the 10th man? The 10th man is drowned. And another man counted. He also said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And where is the 10th man? Because he was not counting himself. And what happens? After this, when the 10th man, they were all crying at the river, what happened? A wise man was passing through. A wise man was passing through and he saw, why are you all crying? He says, we were 10 people and one is drowned. One is drowned. And he looked at them and counted their 10. He said, no, don't worry. The 10th man is there. He's very much here. Don't worry. He is there at the 10th. How you can say this is, we have counted, everybody in us has counted. Every time we reach the number 9 only, we have never counted 10. He says, okay, I'll count. He says, okay, which man would like to count? The leader got up, he said, okay, I'll count. He started counting. When he reached 9, he said 9. So he put his finger towards him. He said, you are the 10th. Oh, we all are alive. We all are alive. So what happens is, at first stage, because of the ignorance, they counted 9. At the second stage also, the ignorance was covered by the truth and they could not find out the 10th boy. And what happens? They started going into a sorrow. Because they started weeping, they started going into the sorrow because they thought our 10th man is dead. And from certainly somewhere you hear, they got a message, no, the 10th man is alive. And when they realize he is there, so what happens? Sometimes we hear the knowledge, the gyan, the true factor from the others. And we have to believe it. And then it was proved that, oh, this is the truth. So this is the truth, fine. This is the truth, is okay. And then what happens? They felt very happy. And finally, they were satisfied that this is the truth. The same happened with us, friends. We have the 10th person we have forgotten is our soul. First person, we remember our body and we remember our desires. Our mind does not know what is happiness and it keeps us on the ignorance part. Even somebody comes and tells you, do these prayers, do this like that. We hear from one right ear, we release it from the left ear, and we do not follow the instructions. And then what happens? We want happiness. But in today's lifestyle, since the religion is fading up, it's becoming more of the fanatic game. People are making them a fanatic way. Okay, what I say is correct and they are forgetting the old religion of Vedas, the text of Gita and other things, and who is the real God they are forgetting. They are looking for a materialistic God who can help them for immediate help, like an assistant, like a PA, personal assistant, or a secretary. Anything is required by us, the God should come and tell, yes sir, I am there with you to help you. What you want is, okay, we are looking for that God personality. But God says, you have yourself has put into your problems. Now you have to solve your problems. Otherwise, the 84 lakh births are waiting for you. And if you go in one day for in one birth, according to our Hindu religion, it will take 23,000 years to come back to the to get the human body again, which is the door to either you go to the higher place, no death, no life, or you go to the lower place. Swami Vivekananda, when he went to US, he even said, I have come here to release you from the bondages of going to heaven. Because if you go to heaven, then you are going to come back. So this is what we are thinking. If we get this player, we will be like this. Now we are involved in so much in our activities that the real knowledge of God Krishna or the catalogs were given to us, we do not understand. And because like a 10th man, we have forgotten that we are soul. And we are counting only 9. And we think the players of the world, the players of satisfying our senses, enjoyment of bar, gamble, and other things, this is the only luxury. Making money is the only luxury. Becoming the wealthiest person is the only peace. And you have seen that number of multi-millionaires have committed suicide because their internally lots of wealth was there with them, but still they were unhappy. And unhappiness always puts you in depression, friends. I would request you, now the 3 chakras I have discussed, how much we are involved in the family affairs, because family affairs only create greed. That is the part of it. The greed is my son should make so much money, I should make so much money, that for coming generations, up to 10 generations, if they feed on this, nobody should feel less. They should enjoy the luxury. This is the greed we enter into it. And we are like, you can say like a machine. We are just moving like a instrument which is not able to do anything except that particular thing. It is like a robot. I should rather say it is like a robot. We become a robot and then we look for happiness. Well, friends, today I take leave from you here. Check yourself, see where you are caught, and see whether you can see yourself as a soul and away from the body. Don't think that you will come out of a body like a pop out of your ear or something like that. It is like this. If I am wearing clothes, I am not a clothes, but my body is in the clothes. So what happens is I am in this body, but I am not the body. So remember this, and this body will be there with me till my deeds are completed, my sins or my things are completed. When I open up my bondages, the peace of mind will be so much that at the time of this death, when this body perishes, I'll be in a bliss. Thank you, friends, and I take leave of you. Jai Shri Krishna. Goodbye.